All right, Shalom. This is fair use, and fair use is a U.S. legal document that permits limited use of copyrighted material without the copyright holder's permission for purposes like commentary. So this is for commentary, criticism, news, reporting. This is for reporting, teaching, and this is also for teaching, scholarship, or research. It protects uses that promote socially valuable goals. There are no legal rules dictating the amount of a work that can be used. So this is fair use coming from the Fair Use Act of 1976. So this is fair use.
Security will now be screening social media posts of visa applicants for anti-Semitic activity. And I'm going to come right off the bat and just say, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Holy crap. Come on, guys. You just don't need to be so on the nose about it. You know what I mean? Listen, it is in the interest of the United States not to import individuals through any kind of visa, be it student, sponsored, athlete, talent, scientist, whatever. It is within the interest of the U.S. not to import these people who oppose our policies and would protest against us. That's fine. But to outright make it about anti-Semitism, are you intending to discredit yourselves here? My point is, you've got a large cohort of young people who are critical of Israel. If you want to change the hearts and minds of young people and stop these ideas from fomenting into something larger, this is the opposite of what you do. But I digress. The Department of Homeland Security is, of course, going to say, we're not letting in people who oppose our foreign policy. But I got to tell you, my friends, I'm going to read the story, but I'm going to mention, I'll talk a little bit about the meeting I had with Prime Minister Netanyahu. It was a roundtable discussion with a small handful of other individuals. They gave me a little nameplate. It was crazy. Based on the discussion, I think the Israelis are clueless as to what is going on social media and how to deal with anti-Israeli sentiment. Which is funny because everybody claims that the Jews in Israel are controlling everything. And I'm like, based on the conversation I heard, that doesn't seem to be the case. But I'm sure the anti-Israel people will just claim they were trying to trick me. Ooh. Or that I work for them or something. Yo, I'm outright saying, I said in this meeting, in 10 years, your support from the U.S. will be in contest. And in 20 years, it will be gone. Here's the story. DHS will begin screening visa applicants' social media content for anti-Semitic activity, it announced on Wednesday. There is no room in the U.S. for the rest of the world's terrorist sympathizers, and we are under no obligation to admit them or let them stay here. That's the Assistant Homeland Security Secretary, Public Affairs, Tricia McLaughlin said. Secretary Christine Noem has made it clear that anyone who thinks they can come to America and hide behind the First Amendment to advocate for anti-Semitic violence and terrorism, think again. You are not welcome here. The directive from the department allows for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service to begin considering any anti-Semitic activity immediately when screening those applying for lawful permanent resident status, as well as foreign students and those affiliated with educational institutions. USCIS will consider social media content that indicates an alien endorsing, espousing, promoting, or supporting anti-Semitic terrorism, anti-Semitic terror organizations, or other anti-Semitic activity as a negative factor in any USCIS discretionary analysis when adjudicating immigration benefits requests, according to a release from the agency.
So as we continue on, all praises once again be to the God of heaven and earth, Yahweh, and his son, whose name is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly and incorrectly called Jesus Christ. Once again, this is fair use, fair use. This is fair use. Now, as we continue on, the time that's upon us and what we're witnessing is the famine of hearing the words of truth. The famine of the word, as is known in the Holy Scriptures. That's the time that's upon us. So that's why you see all of this rhetoric and talk about, speaking against, the Ish people. This is the book of Hosea 4 and verse 1. It says, hear the word of the Lord, Yahweh, ye children of Israel. So this word is addressed to the 12 tribes of Israel, whether they hear or forbear, the scriptures say. So this is the time to hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. For the Lord Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. So the issue that the Most High has with the rulership that's going on in the earth and his people who are not following him, right, is that those that oppose this truth are going to be annihilated by the God of heaven and earth, Yahweh, and his son, whose name is Yahweh Shai, who's soon to return. So there's no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in this land, here in Babylon and throughout the earth. The Most High is not promoted. His word is not promoted in truth and righteousness. The commandments are not even looked at as anything that's real to people in the earth. This is the book of Jeremiah. So the Most High is going to pull back the prophets in order to bring the next phase of Jacob's trouble into play. Jeremiah 6 and verse 16, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, stand ye in the way and see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein. The old paths and the good way are the ways of truth found in the Holy Scriptures. And ye shall find rest for your souls. This is where peace and rest is, the peace that surpasseth all understanding. Philippians 4:7. But they said, this is what our people say, 2/3 of our nation, right? We will not walk therein, but the Israelites don't want to walk according to what's righteous and true. Verse 17, also I said watchmen over you, and those watchmen are the men of the Lord that's out doing the work day and night. Those are the watchmen, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet, saying, return to this truth before the doors of mercy close. That's what the prophets are saying by and large. But they said, but the 2/3 are saying, we will not hearken. They don't want to listen. Now it says in the NLT, but you replied, no, we don't pay attention. We won't pay attention. They don't want to hear the words of the men of the Lord. So that's why the famine of hearing the word is upon us. This is Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, in the 26th verse. So that's what's upon us. Ezekiel 3, starting in verse 26, and it reads, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, meaning you're not going to be able to speak or be speechless. And this is speaking about the 144,000 prophets. And shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house, because our people are very rebellious. Verse 27, the Most High the time is winding down, and we're getting closer to these draconian laws coming where they're going to take away, the Holy Scriptures from being taught on the streets and from being taught and promoted on the internet. Ezekiel 3 and 27, it says, but when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, he that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. So those that are going to be filthy are going to remain filthy still. And those that this truth is for, who are righteous in the sight of the Most High, they're going to actually be granted a way to return. But the famine of the word is upon us. It's getting more and more near each and every day. This is 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 15. And the Lord Yahweh, power of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, and his messengers are of the 12 tribes, which are the elect, starting with the men of the Lord. When you read in Revelation, the 14th chapter, the 144,000 prophets, once again, 12,000 out of each tribe, as indicated in the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter, when you start from 1 on down. And the Lord Yahweh, power of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes, meaning right away, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place, because there's no truth or mercy in this land. The men of the Lord are out because of the compassion of the Most High. As the scriptures tell us, he's long suffering toward usward, which would be the believers. Verse 16, but they, the 2/3 of this nation, known as the children of disobedience, the rebellious children, but they mock the messengers of the Most High. They don't truly believe in the word that's going forth, even though it's coming out of the scriptures, and despise his words. They don't care. They loathe the law of the Most High, the scriptures tell us, and misuse his prophets until the wrath of the Lord Yahweh arose against his people till there was no remedy. So the wrath of the Most High has to come in order, for his people to actually hear, believe, and inquire. So the remnant are the only ones who are being counted as those that are going to be exempt. Only the remnant, because they mock the messengers. Everything that's being said, all this knowledge and truth that's being, shouted on the chief of nations, which is Babylon the Great, America, which being that that sign, that token, and then the brothers that are on the four corners of the earth doing this work as well. All of that to the children of Israel is to no avail. It doesn't matter. They're not convinced. And the Most High is not here to make them be convinced. He's here to publish and make the word public so that the elect can be sealed. And that he can show forth his mercy that he always promised to the remnant. Amos 8 and verse 10, and I will turn your feast in the morning. See, right now, most people on the earth are in the spirit of feasting, meaning fun and play. Do as thy will. That is really the mantra and the motto of Western culture, is to be in feast, right? The spirit of feasting. And I will turn your feast, your fun, into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins, meaning heavy mourning. It says, and baldness upon every head. And I will make it as the mourning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. So what's coming are bitter days. The famine of the word is another example of the bitterness that's going to come when the Most High withdraw his men and he take away and take away the truth from being expressed, from being taught, from being promoted. That means he's ramping up judgment to another level. Verse 11, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. So the famine is going to start with the word not being accessible anymore. And they shall wander from sea to sea. Now, this is what a lot of our people are going to do. The Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and Israelite foreigners are scattered abroad. They're going to be actually searching and looking for the answers from the men of the Lord, but we're going to be off the internet and out of the streets. And they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh, and shall not find it. So there's going to be a time here very soon where the truth is not going to be accessible once again. It's not going to be something that you can go to YouTube and just, click on, or go to social media and see. That's the next phase. This phase is about to take away that hedge and that protection, the Most High's hand that's extended when you read in Proverbs, the first chapter, right? He's extended his hand out to his people. Verse 13, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Now it says in the NLT, beautiful girls and strong young men will grow faint in that day, thirsting for the Lord's word. But right now they're not looking for it. But in this time, they're going to be thirsting for the Most High's word. Now, why would people be thirsting for the words of truth when they're not doing it now? Why would they be thirsting for truth when the truth is here now and they're not considering it? Let's find out why. First Ezra 4 and verse 34, O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Verse 35, is he not great that maketh these things? Speaking of the Heavenly Father, the Most High God, Yahweh. Therefore, great is the truth and stronger than all things. So great is the truth, and the truth is stronger than all things. All the earth crieth upon the truth. That's why they're going to search for the word and search for the men of the Lord and for the truth, and won't be able to find it, as it says in Amos, the 8th chapter. And here's the reason why again. It says, all the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, speaking of the truth. And with it is no unrighteous thing, because That's where truth and righteousness is going to be. The scriptures tell us in 2 Ezra 5 that the land is going to be barren of faith. Right? It's going to be. Let me get that and come back. 2 Ezra 5. So the land is going to be barren of faith. 2 Ezra 5:1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, which are the signs, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, meaning the understanding. That's why they're going to search for the truth, because it's going to be hidden. The prophets' tongues are going to cleave to the roof of their mouth. And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So let's go back to 1 Ezra 4. So this land, it says, is going to be barren of faith. Speaking of Babylon and the world, for that matter. Verse 37, wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works. And there is no truth in them. There's no truth, right, in this world. So the truth that's here with the men of the Lord and the believers is returning to it, that's going to be taken away. That's what's going to make the land barren of faith. And there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. So when the truth is taken away, right, the unrighteous deeds and works of the unrighteous, the 2/3 of heathen and the wicked, is what's going to cause them to perish away. Because the truth is actually a cloak. It's a covering. Right? Without the truth is likened to being naked. Right? Not having a covering or being exposed. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her, which is wisdom, which is this truth, there is no accepting of persons or reward. So it doesn't matter what your status is on the earth. You either have the mark of the Wab, which is exemption, found in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, the 4th verse, or you don't have that exemption from judgment. With her, there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things. And all men do well like of her works. Right? So now, it goes on to say, neither in her, in this wisdom, which is the truth, judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the power of truth. And with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, great is truth, and mighty above all things, because the truth is going to be taken away during the time of the famine of the word, which is upon us for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. I want to give all praises, if and honor and glory to the God of heaven and earth, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahabushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. All praises be to the Most High God, Yahweh, and his son Yahabushai. All praises be to the Most High God, Yahweh, and his son, whose name is Yahabushai. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel, Barak Yamlah, Habayath, Madabadah. Blessings to the house of David, which are your brothers laboring, and to the Akyam, Wa'akwath, brothers and sisters that also listen and believe in the glorious gospel that's being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Unto you I say, Shalom, 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 by Barakatham, call Bakaryam. Peace and blessings to all the believing brothers and sisters, right, that are of the elect. And may the Most High continue to bless and keep you brothers and you sisters and your households and families according to his will. Adawan Ratazah. Hey, Shalom and Barakatham.